Squad.
All right, man. Today I'm sitting down with a good friend of mine. Very interesting person. This guy's been to over 12 different countries. He's been hustling since he was yay high. So, real interesting fellow. Kenny Lopez, what's going on, my boy?
Yo, what's up, man? Thanks for that intro. I feel like a special guest.
That's
crazy.
Right. That's right, man. Welcome to the podcast, bro. I'm glad we were finally able to make it happen because I think I've asked you to come on a podcast maybe a year ago, and at the time you just, for some reason, it just wasn't able to happen.
Our schedules, man. That's what happens when we work so much. We can't,
Yes,
can't
sir.
get them to connect.
Yes, sir. That's the one good thing about doing the podcast via Zoom now. It doesn't matter where people are in the world. It just makes things a lot easier, to be honest. Let's go ahead and kick it off in high school, man. What was that like, maybe your senior year in high school?
I was kind of into a lot of things, actually. I played sports at first, the beginning of high school, actually through middle school, all the way up to like freshman year. And then I soon realized that it's not for me. I like other things, and making a business I didn't think I was going to do it. I just kind of liked the money that was coming in. I was like, oh, this is cool. Like, people come to me because they want something. Like, that's cool. I like that. Like, come to me, man. Give me what you want.
Like, you like being the plug.
Yeah. I was actually the gum plug. Everybody will always ask me, can I get a piece of gum? I'm like, yeah, man, here. I'm like, damn, man, I always run out of my gum over here.
Bro, I thought you said you were the gun plug. I thought you were hustling guns in high school. I was like, wow, I don't know if you want to admit to that.
Yeah, those Super Soakers 3000s, man, I had those all locked up.
Yeah, you had to switch that up there for a second.
Yeah.
For sure.
I had gum. There's a good moment where everybody kept asking me for gum because, I like gum. And I started getting annoyed because I never would save a whole pack. Like, it would be gone by the end of the week. So I was like, I'm going to go to Stater Brothers, and I'm going to pick up some packs of gum. I probably picked up 7, 8 3-packs. And I was like, oh, people started asking me like, oh, I want some gum. I'm like, yeah, man, you got $1? He's like, what? He's like, yeah, here, look, I got a whole pack. They're like, oh, all right. He's like, what kind of flavor do you want? I got Winter Fresh, I got Juicy, like whatever you want. Like, I got it. They're like, okay. It was so easy, man. It was like the best thing I've ever done. And right there, I think I was like, damn, like supply and demand is a thing, it's
so
a real thing.
Would you say that was your aha moment for starting to realize how hustling was going to be for you?
Yeah. There's other moments, but I feel like that's the most appropriate one. That one was okay, I can't get in trouble for it. It's gum. If security ever tells me anything, like, they're gonna be like, why does he have so much gum? Like, and it's not really like a thing. At that time, a lot of people were selling candy and like the honey brown or what are those things called? Honey bunches, or not the honey bunches though. What are those little?
It's like a bread.
Yeah, those bread things. What are those called?
I don't know. It's kind of like a cinnamon bun.
I forgot. Yeah, those things. They're selling those a lot, like hotcakes. And I was like, bro, you could get caught. Everybody was getting in trouble. They have big duffel bags. So obvious you're selling it, And just gum. Started selling. I was selling candy. Started getting dirty because of the chocolate. And then I was like, gum is way easier. And it's $1. Who's not gonna say it?
Yeah.
Who's not gonna want it?
What were you getting the gum for if you were selling it for $1?
Who was I getting it from?
No, what were you getting it for? Isn't it $1 at the 99-cent store?
Well, if you buy a 3-pack, it's not $1. You make a little bit off of it, a little bit. It's not a lot of profits, but when you see the whole $1 come back, you're like, oh, hell yeah. Like, this is a whole new pack right here. There's a whole another pack right here. So, like, it kind of adds up because I think it was like $1.75, almost $2 for the pack. It's 3 of them, $3 right there. And I had a bunch of them, and it only made sense, to have a lot of them, different flavors.
Yeah, I think that moment when you're young and you're starting your first hustle, it's just, obviously it's not the strongest hustle, but when you realize that you're able to actually sell something and people give you money in return, it clicks. You're like, oh dang, this feels good. Yeah. I want to do this again.
Yeah,
for sure.
And it feels even better when you're holding like everything in your pockets and you're just like, oh, I got so many things. You take it out and you're like, oh, this is money. Like, it's cool. And you put it in a little jar, and then you just keep watching it grow and grow. And like, it's been a thing of mine ever since then. Like, just watching my piggy bank grow, and it feels amazing.
Yeah. When I was in high school, I was hustling bootleg movies. Yeah.
What?
Yeah, dude.
Bootleg movies?
Yeah, for real. That was not my first hustle, but that was one of my early hustles that I would
The
have in
hoo-ha
high
moment.
school. Um, dude, so we used to go to downtown LA, okay,
Mhm.
and buy from a supplier, right? I mean, I'm not gonna get in trouble for this. It's been years, bro. Nobody even sells these things anymore. So
Yeah.
I had a spiral booklet, you know, the one with the rings on the inside, one of the
Yeah.
thickest ones, right? And I would take the the cover from the movie, and I would scan it and make a copy, and I would have a spiral full of a bunch of movie like covers, and it was categorized in drama, action, horror, comedy, right? And this booklet was so fat, so heavy. I would carry it around to school. I would pass this booklet around, and teachers thought it was just a regular notebook, right? And
Yeah.
kids would write down their order and place it in a little slip right there, right? And I would bring their order on Friday, and then they would
Hey.
pay me there. I was selling for $5, and it was so dope, dude. There was a time where I thought my life was over. The way I originally got caught was in PE. So I was slanging DVDs in the locker room as we were
Yeah.
getting ready to go back out. The security guard pulled me out. He was like, "What is this?" He saw that, right? And then that's when he was all like, "I'm gonna let you go, but don't be doing this again." Point being is they called me out of third period class to go to the security office. I was sweating bricks. Turns out they just wanted to place an order for movies.
Trip out on that.
Dude,
That's
the
crazy.
security guards at my high school became one of my top clients. Now, mind you, this is before Netflix and Hulu and streaming services and all of that. Like on a
Yeah.
weekly basis, I would get called out of class. People thought I was in some shit, bro, because I was always getting called out of class, you know. And they would just be like, "What you got for us this week?" And then I'd be like, "Oh,
Yeah.
here you go. This is my new. These are my new orders. The new movies I got this week." And then like the way I would sell them, I'd be like, "Oh, this one is selling a lot. I hear this one's really good. Denzel Washington, he doesn't make any trash. He makes great movies. You're gonna love this." And then
Yeah.
they would buy like $60 worth of movies sometimes. It was crazy.
Bro, I'm surprised you didn't wait. Did you invest in AMC on
No,
Robinhood?
no, 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 no. It was
I feel like
crazy.
you would have been the first one on there. Like, yeah, I'm gonna help these guys,
Yeah.
short the
I mean, I
stock. Let's
stole
do it.
money from you guys. So yeah.
Yeah, so let me steal some more.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, anyways, man. So yeah, I could definitely appreciate that high school hustle. So,
Mhm.
in high school, were you doing any sort of things like throwing parties to get additional money? That was a big thing back in the day. Were you a part of that whole movement?
I was at that time. I thought I was gonna be the next, Dead Mouse or something. I really wanted to be a DJ. I was messing around with it a little bit, and then I started taking it a little bit more serious. And then after that, I was like, "Oh, this is cool!" Like, I started. I think this was around, I think like like mid junior year. Like, I started really getting more involved into that. I started going to the parties a lot more. Started DJing, getting my name out there. Um, and it just started getting really good. Like I started throwing the parties, the money was coming in. I was like, oh, this is cool. And like after that, I don't know how it happened. I just remember I wanted to take it to another level. I wanted to go higher. Like these house parties, they're fun, but you got a bunch of shootouts, people fighting, and it's just a bunch of drama. Like there's always something going on, cops pulling up. Like, it just wasn't like stable as much. I don't want that. And I was like, I got to take it to another level. And then I went to the what was this place called? The Arena in Hollywood. I think that's what it was called. And they're hosting like this little promoter meeting, and they're like, "Oh, you got to get tickets to sell in order for you to DJ." And I was like, "Man, this is bogus." But he's like, "But if you sell over 20 tickets, will you get on the main stage?" And I was like, "Oh, really? Okay, that's cool. I'm down. Count me in." Um, I talked to I talked to one of my boys named Marvin, and then we both got into that. Oh, well, give me a second. Give me 1 second. My bad. Caught like a little hair or something, a little hairball. I don't even have cats. I don't even know how to have a hairball, you know?
I know what you be doing.
But yeah, so I talked to my boy about it, and then we pushed it. We pushed it hard, trying to sell these tickets. We ended up selling more than 20. At that time, we took his van, his parents' van, and my dad's truck. We shoved a bunch of people in that car, in the van and the truck, and then we had like a trail of cars just following us to Hollywood. And then from there, like I just started seeing, like I was like, damn, this is good money. Like it's really good money. Like people are buying it. I get a DJ and I get paid on top of this. Like this is cool. It wasn't great money, but it was better than the house party money. You know,
For
I felt
sure.
better about myself.
Yeah, you felt like you were doing big things.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it was for a moment until like that started getting hot. You know, people started getting DUIs on the way home. You know,
Hmm.
started getting in trouble, couldn't get in, got too drunk, and yeah, it was too much.
Now, how did that connect into the whole Jack Trilogy thing? That's the group that you had, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
explain
remember
to people what
that?
that is. What you guys look like on stage.
Oh gosh, I look back at it, I'm like, oh, gosh, just think of Marshmallow, but in a Jack in the Box head. You know, Jack in the Box, like one of those big old freaking, Jack in the Box heads. It was two of us at first, me and Marvin, and then we got we got this other guy named Felix in it. And we made it a trio. I can't recall why it became a trio. I just do remember it being a bigger thing. And then the whole DJ thing, we were doing it on our own. It was just me as DJ Tuta, and then my boy Marvin as So Busted. So like that was kind of our thing. That we started doing like duos, like a back to back. We saw how that kind of hit better, and then we're like, we gotta take another level. And then that's when Jack Trilogy came out, because like we wanted to be known for something else, like I always want to take it to another level. Because for some reason I've noticed, like once I get to something and I accomplish it, I feel like I gotta do something else. Like I plateau and I'm like, I gotta move on or do something bigger now. And that's when Jack Trilogy came on, started pushing that, started really taking the DJ thing a lot more serious, trying to put out mixes. We started getting booked for things, like a hype came in really hot. We were really, like, I don't even know how that happened. Like my eyes flash, and next thing you know, we're DJing with like Swedish Eagle, doing these other events, getting on like radio shows, going with what's that one? 92.3. I forgot their little tour, the basketball tour that they had.
Oh yeah.
We're showing up to those. And then yeah, we just started doing that. Like it just kind of just like, yeah,
And you
it was
guys had
insane.
no manager at the time. You were pretty much the manager.
Yeah, it was just us. And then his dad, Felix's dad, actually became our manager because he saw how it started getting pretty interesting. We started getting hit up by other people to go different places. And then just, yeah, it grew really quick, honestly, quicker than what we thought. It surpassed our level of like growth. We're like, wow. And then from there, we had our differences, and then we kind of just started splitting up, and everybody took a turn. And I started realizing too, like, DJing was cool and all, but I plateaued. I wanted to make more. I wanted to do more, and I felt like I can do more with it. And then I got involved and started doing party buses.
That's a good segue. Now let's get into the party bus business. How was that going?
I got hit up by this guy named James. Kept always hitting me up on at that time I think it was Facebook, a little bit of Instagram, kind of always messaging me like, "Yo, what's up, man?" I just always push it to the side. I was like, "Bro, I'm not interested. Don't try to sell me on something I know what I like. Well, I sell people on this. Like I know what you're doing to me. I don't like being sold." And he just kept hitting me up, and then one day I finally read his messages and I go through it, and I'm like, "Oh, party bus. Oh, this is cool. Okay, like I'm down. Let's see what's up." We get on a call. We start talking about it. He's like, "Yeah, so we're doing party buses out of the parking ride to Pomona. And like, we sell the tickets for $50 or $40 or whatever. And then this is what you make." I'm like, "Hey, I'm down. Let's do it." And he's like, "Cool. Like, let's see it. We'll give you 10 tickets." I'm like, "All right." I think I sold my first one. I ended up selling the whole bus out. It was me, DJ Envy, Ronnie, rest in peace to those legends, Marvin. And yeah, we took the whole bus. We took a whole Palmdale bus and we took it straight to Pomona. And then from there, I was like, "Dude, this is fun." Like we were able to DJ. It was a whole new crowd. We're in Pomona, we're taking a party bus, like huge, big old shuttle party bus with stripper poles, like the whole shebang. And it was fun, man. That was fun. And from there, I was like, I'm taking this to a whole nother level. And then we just grew that out too.
So during the party bus situation, I'm assuming you're
Mhm.
over 21, or were you doing like 18 and under? I mean, 18 and over spots.
We're doing 18 and over spots. And then I grew into it as a 21. And then we started doing a little bit bigger things with it as well.
So you pretty much did that from like what, 18 to what? How many years did you do that for?
I would say, damn. probably like 3 years, maybe about so. Because we went on a hot spring where we're doing it every month. Because we got to the point where we made a community out of it. It was called BTE. BTE was based out of Fullerton. The main guy was named is Dom. He ran in the Cal State Fullerton. He's actually one of the talent buyers for Golden Voice. Hosts all these big events. Like he that was his thing. He always wanted to do, right. And then James went to school with him, and he's from Palmdale, so that's kind of how that connected me here. And then that started growing, and then he was like, "Dude, like come to Fullerton, come live over here. Like we can take this to another level." I'm like, "Let's do it." I made up my mind. The following weekend, I'm out there. And then we started kind of like making a big thing out of it. We started doing a lot of party buses. I was in charge of getting the Palmdale ones out of there. We started growing that out bigger and bigger. We started hosting like cowboy nights, Halloween nights, like all white parties. Like we started doing themes with it, so we started making them really long. And then we soon realized that, well, after a year, we realized that doing them back to back, it could burn out our people because not a lot of people have that money or just too much partying, there's too much going on. So we started stretching it out. And then it just, next, 3 years in and we're doing all that. And I think the last event that we did was a boat party. That was like the closing shebang.
I remember
that. Yeah. Did you end up coming to that?
No. But we were talking about possibly going to go DJ over there, and you were even talking about getting some production. Because
that's right. We needed some stuff in there.
Yeah.
It was a three-story little boat.
I think Daniel went to that.
I think he did.
Yeah. It was like an all white party, right?
All white. Yeah, all white boat party. Yeah.
That's dope. That was like 2016 or something.
2016, exactly. That was the last one. We were kind of already burning out from the party scene, the party buses, because there's a lot of problems. People started getting in accidents, fights started breaking out. It started getting really intense. And then we kind of retired from it. And then, I'm going through some stuff. And then my buddy's like, "Dude, like you got to get out of here. Like, let's go to Europe." I'm like, what do you mean go to Europe? He's like, "Yeah, let's go to Europe." I don't got that kind of money, man. He's like, "Oh, we can do something. We'll throw in a party bus or something." And we're like, "Yeah, we should do a boat party." And then the boat party came up and that started coming up and then got invested into that. And then we ended up doing, I think, seven buses out to the boat party, over 300 people. We had to tell people no at the point because we couldn't let too many people on the boat because, it's the boat, there's a limit.
Yeah.
So we started doing that. And with that funding, I went to Europe. I was in Europe for like almost 3 months.
Was that your first time traveling to a different country?
My first time and my first flight. I did a 14-hour flight.
To Europe. Now, let's talk about Europe.
Yeah.
What was that like and how long were you out there for?
Oh, gosh, man. How do I say this? Like, ever since that trip, my whole life changed completely. Full 360. I didn't see life the same anymore. I left my dental job. I was a dental assistant. I wanted to be an orthodontist.
Oh, dude, I do remember that. Earlier, I said I never remember talking to you and you having a normal hustle, but yeah, that was just so long ago. Damn.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead.
I don't know what I was thinking, but I was following the pattern of my family. Trying to go in the dental field, and I wanted to be an orthodontist. And I was like, "Oh, this is cool. My uncle does it. He does some cool stuff. Like I worked at the lab, and it's cool." I finished school. Started becoming. I was already a dental assistant. I got hired before I finished school, so I saw the money coming in too. I was like, "Oh, this is cool." I was still doing the party buses. I was selling other stuff on the side too as well. Kind of always hustling something, And then, I got out of a bad relationship, and that kind of tore me down a little bit, and then my buddy saw that. He's like, "Dude, I don't want to see you like this. Let's get you out of here. Let's go to Europe. I'm going to Europe and we should come with me. It's fun." Kind of selling me on this. I was like, "Nah, I don't got the money. I'm not ready for this. Like, I can't do that. I don't even have a passport. Like, how the hell am I going to do this?" And then we started figuring it out. And then that's when that happened. And when Europe came, oh man, like my whole life changed. Like Europe was a starting point of my new life. Like ever since Europe, like I realized like I'm going to be digital. Like I'm going to be entrepreneur. I'm going to be self-employed. Like I want to never work for nobody else. I want to have my own schedule. I want to be able to do what I want, when I want. And like, I don't want to come to anybody's, like, I don't want to be like, oh, I gotta clock in today. Like, damn, I hated that. Like I was depressed in the dental field. It's, fun fact, they have probably one of the highest like suicidal rates too. Dental dentists. It's a
Really?
depressing job, man. Yeah.
I had no idea.
Maybe it changed. It probably changed from here to now, but bro, it's so depressing. Like you're in people's mouth all the time. Nobody likes you. Like nobody likes messing. Like don't mess with my tooth. Like don't get in my mouth. Like
Yeah,
it's
I guess
your
nobody's
personal
really
space.
excited to go see the dentist.
Yeah, man. Like everybody's always coming in cranky. Like oh my fucking like always. Can we curse here or not?
Yeah, yeah, you're good.
Yeah, people bitching and stuff all the time, like my bad. I just want to make sure. Like always complain about something. I was like, dude, this is depressing, man. I'm in someone's mouth and I can the fumes and like burning the tooth, shavings, and dude, it was cool, but it wasn't for me, man. I'm a very uplifting guy, like like I gotta do stuff, and the guy was like, don't laugh, be serious, like don't do that. I'm falling asleep in someone's mouth, dude. Like just kind of like that. Like that's how boring it was, dude. It was so
Oh
boring. I'm
my
standing
God.
with like a suction in my hand, and the other one over here with like a little claw, just trying to like. I'm just like he's like looks at me. He's like Kenny. I'm like what? He's falling asleep. I'm like no, no, no,
You probably
dude.
because
It
you
was
probably had a party bus the day before.
probably did. Yeah, I had to work weekends on that time. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, man, that whole Europe trip changed my life, man. I saw the world in a whole nother way. I saw how people live across the world, and it made me realize, and it made me a lot more grateful about everything. Like I realized that we're brats. Americans are brats.
Yeah.
We're spoiled brats. We have everything on the fingertips and our palms. We can get and do whatever we want here. We have the flexibility to go to any country without any restrictions, basically. Um, and when you go to a whole other world, man, like you come in and you're just like, whoa, like damn, this is something. This is not the US, man. Um, and after that, like I met some interesting people. It was a group of six of us. Everybody was kind of doing their own little side hustle type of thing, trying to make money. And I saw that and I was like, oh wow, these guys make money and they're over here still. Like, damn, this is cool. Like, how do I do that? And then I think that's where my passion for photo and video came. Mm-hmm.
Okay, I remember around the time when you went to Europe for the first time. Did you have a
Mm-hmm.
GoPro? You had a GoPro?
I got a GoPro for that trip, purposely for
Okay,
that
I
trip.
remember
Yes.
that. Now,
Mm-hmm.
was that the start of the whole videography thing? Did your spark
Yes.
for videography start from, shooting things on the
Mm-hmm.
GoPro on that trip?
Yes. Well, part of it has to do with my mom. My mom is obsessed with taking photos and videos every time. It's kind of like annoying. It's like, oh, wait, una photo. And I'm like, mom, like everybody's like, oh gosh, like it's kind of like a burden, like so many times that how much she would do it. And she had like a little Polaroid too, like the old school Polaroid that you used to pull out.
Mm.
And I remember this when I was like 9 or something. And like, I was like, I got so annoyed of it. And then Snapchat came around. When Snapchat came around, I got really interested in that. I was like, oh, this is cool. Started recording myself a lot. And then I realized that was helping me kind of sell the party bus because I started recording my stuff. I started liking recording things. Like it became a thing. And I didn't realize it until the Europe trip. Once I got to Europe, I got a GoPro because I wanted to make a video. My buddy actually got a nicer DSLR camera. He was taking photos. And then I was like, damn, I wish I could take photos with this GoPro. You can't do nothing. It's like this small.
Mhm.
And then he was taking photos. I'm like, damn, that's cool. Like, I wish I could take photos. And I was like, yo, let me borrow that. He's like, yeah. Start taking photos on that. And then I was like, this is kind of cool. Like, I like it. Like, and that trip, as soon as I got into Europe, we flew into Norway. That first day, I was like, bro, I want to travel for the rest of my life. Like, this is what I want to do. Like, I want to travel, like travel the world. I don't know how I'm going to do it. As the time went on, I started like seeing like a lot more of the world, and I was like, dude, this is dope. Started documenting it, and then I started sending it to my parents, like, oh, check this out. And then I started seeing it on my phone. Once I came back from Europe, I was just like, I had a travel bug. I needed to go everywhere. I wanted to document it. I went to go buy a camera at Costco. So there's a little hack for you guys. I don't know if I should say this because I still do it to this day. So Costco has a great return policy. They give you
Right.
90 days. They give you 90 days to return your item, right? I don't have a lot of money. and I wanted to get a camera. I saw this 80D. It was one of my first cameras. It was selling for like I think 15 or 1800 bucks. I can't remember. Um, and I was like, cool, I got it. My buddy was like, yo, let's do a road trip to Oregon. I'm like, I definitely got to get this camera. I'm down. Let's do it. I got the camera. I used the Uber money to get the camera. Um, I got the camera. We're going out there. We go to Oregon. From Oregon, we're like, oh, we're only a couple hours away from Washington. Let's go there. I'm like, oh, my aunt lives there. We can go see her. We go see her in Seattle. And then she's like, oh, you guys are like 2 hours away from the border of Canada. We're like, well, why not? Let's go to Canada. So we took out to Canada. Next thing you know, we're gone for a whole week. We're camping in Canada, taking photos, videos, like, and that was like that trip. Oh man, can we get like illegal stuff in here too or not?
Yeah, you good, man.
Okay, cool. So that trip opened my third eye, literally. I did
Oh,
acid for the first
okay,
time.
okay. Word.
Yeah. So that trip, it opened on my third eye, literally. And then we're in Oregon first. First of all, the first stop was Oregon. We were in Oregon. We roll up. I'm driving. We pull up to this little waterfall. I can't remember the name of it. Oh no, Tukiti Falls. We pull up to that waterfall. Dope waterfall. This van pulls up out of nowhere. I'm like, oh, that's cool. Some other people are trying to hike this too. Like whatever. I'm in the car getting my stuff situated. My buddies are in the back, talking to the people, and all I hear is like, "Oh, Kenny's down." And I'm like, "What? Like, what's going on?" The guy's like, "Hey, what's up, man?" I'm like, "I'm Clay." I still remember this guy's dope. I still keep in contact with him, by the way. His name is Clay. He's like, "Yo, my name is Clay." I was like, "Oh, what's up, man? It was good." He's like, "Yo, put your hand out." I'm like, "Oh, cool." Grabs like a little droplet, like the little tube with the drops. You the drop stuff in. He's like, "Put your hand." I'm like, "Oh, what is this?" I'm thinking he's gonna drop like some type of juice, like for like liquid, like kind of sweet, like sour thing. I'm like, "Cool." Drops it. I'm like, "What is it?" He's like, "It's acid." I'm like, "What? What do you mean? Like, get this off of me." He's like, "Bro, it's in your system. Might as well just lick it." I'm like, "What? What do you know?" Like, bro, I've never done this. He's like, "No, no, no, you're fine. It's gonna be good. I'll guide you through it. It's a great thing. Like, you like nature, right?" He's like, "Yeah, this is perfect for it. Like, you're in the nature. Like, you're gonna feel really good about it. It's already in your system." I'm like, "Oh, whatever." I lick it. I'm like walking around, like, I'm like, bro, what's gonna happen? I don't even know what's happening. I'm enjoying the whole thing, like, great time, going about my day. We start walking down this. I mean, we get to the view, and the guy's like, "Oh, we can climb down the hill and walk down it, right?" And I was like, "Cool." We started hiking down. As I'm hiking down, I start seeing things move, like wavy. I'm like, "Whoa, what is this?" And like, it just goes away. It was like a quick little, like a little wave, and I'm like, "Well, am I gonna faint right now?" No. I still keep going. Didn't even say nothing. I kept going. As I'm walking, I get to the waterfall, and like the whole way down, I guess my adrenaline was pumping, and it kind of just really like triggered everything, right? And then I look up, and then the waterfall is just coming down, and like I start seeing the mountain, the waterfall, the water just start kind of getting like wavy, and I'm like, "Oh, this is acid."
Yeah.
And it took me on a whole journey, and then, oh man, yeah,
Do you ever trip on acid while you were at a festival?
never, no.
Oh.
So the way he told me was to always do it outdoors. And I learned firsthand that you got to do it around around people that you trust, good environment, because you feel energy, man. You feel the vibe of people. And my first time I've ever did it was probably the worst trip I've ever had, and I kind of didn't want to do that for a while after that.
You're talking
Um,
about that time you were in Oregon?
yeah, this is all
Okay.
in Oregon. Great. The whole time is a great time. We're at the waterfall. Everything's cool. And as like the whole thing is hitting me, like I'm starting to realize, like, yo, like I really I like this nature. I like this, and I like recording. I had my GoPro recording everything with my camera too. I liked it, and I was like, this is cool. I think I want to pursue it. And then after that, like, let's go to this hot spring. We go to this hot spring. We're there hanging out. We pull up, and the guy's like, "Oh, make sure to lock your car and hide your electronics under the seat, because people here see electronics and they'll throw rocks in your car and they'll break into it." And I'm like, "What?" And in my head, to keep it no, I'm on acid. I'm tripping out. The guy's like, I'm thinking of a bulldozer coming, a huge rock into the car, breaks in, and it's still on my shit. And then all of a sudden, this other car pulls up next to us. I look to the window, and this guy just staring at me, and like he gave me the weirdest like heebie-jeebie vibes. Like I was gone. Like my whole trip was thrown off by him.
Hmm.
I literally felt like so uncomfortable. I felt like he was gonna kill me and kidnap me. As time went on, like he was around us, and like it felt weird. As soon as he got away, my sensation just got better. And I was like, whew, I feel good. We walk up to the springs, we get there again, and then like he's there, and I'm like, yo, guys, I got to get away from this guy. Like I can feel his energy. Like this guy he's something bad. Like he's a really bad person. Like he probably kidnaps kids. Like he looks like one of those people. Like no joke, man. Like scary looking guy. Like his vibe was just so off, and it threw me off the whole trip. Like that whole last like 3 hours of the acid trip was gone because of him.
How long does
And
it
as soon as I
usually
got away from,
last?
I think it was like 6 hours about.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a long trip. And like that took me on another journey, bad trip. And as soon as I got away from him, I kind of like got myself together again, got back, and I was like, cool. Like this is I'm back to normal. And that's like another thing that clicked for me. Like people really like can affect who you are when you're around them.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, like hanging out with people that got certain vibes, certain energy, it affects us in a way that sometimes we don't even realize it. We can always choose our friends and stuff, but certain situations, like work, you can't always pick the kind of people that come around. And I've been in those situations where people just have like such bad energy, and they're just really like unhappy. So they project this energy out, and it affects other people. Like it's kind of whack, honestly. Would you say that psychedelics is something that can help people find themselves, or it can help them lose themselves?
Yes, I agree. Like you could get very lost. You can start seeing unicorns, or or your whole perspective in life changes to the better, like to the best. And I honestly like I don't want to promote this at all. This is not something I'm gonna go and push all the time. But if somebody asks me like, "Hey, what's your thoughts on psychedelics?" I'll be like, "You should do it at least once. You should definitely do it. I encourage it." I sound like a promoter right there, but as my personal experience,
I don't want to encourage this, but you guys give me a call when you're ready.
yeah, seriously, if you're whenever you're ready to do it, like let me know and I'll take you, man. I'll do it with you. We'll go to the mountains. We'll go to the beach. Like it's a whole different thing, man. Like it's some of these people that get lost, like that go to like La La Land, like it's because they did too much. They did too much. Their mind is in the gutter. They're thinking like they're gonna have a trip. They want to see a unicorn with a horse. I mean, they want to see a unicorn with a bear. Like they want to
Okay.
see crazy stuff, right? They want to see that stuff, and like, so they're already going in with that mentality of like, I want to see crazy things. I want to like, whoa, like, and don't go in with that mindset because you're gonna have a ride. It's not gonna be a fun one either.
I don't know too many things about this, but I'm a big fan of like Joe Rogan's podcast, and he talks a lot about this
Yes,
stuff. Right? There's
yes.
there's this particular one that they talk about where they say it could drive you insane if you're a bad person. Like it pretty much. And I'm paraphrasing here, but something along the lines where it will show you and reveal you your true self. And if you're a bad
Mm,
person, you can go crazy because you could like see demons, or if you're a good
mm,
person, you could see like God or something. I don't know, some crazy shit like
yeah,
that. But that just sounds insane, bro. That sounds like that's crazy to me.
yeah, and
I'm a very straight person, bro. I've never even smoked
yeah.
weed in my life. Okay. Yeah, no, for
What?
real. I'm super straight as far as that. I don't really feel
That's
like
good.
I don't really feel like I've ever missed out on anything, right? I've never
Nah,
felt like
nah, you're good.
I've had to do anything like this to be accepted or anything like that. It's just who I
Mm,
am. But when I hear him talk about these things, they do sound super interesting because
yeah.
they just kind of
So,
sound like it's a whole nother universe. It's weird.
bro, it's a whole nother universe. So the way I was introduced by it was very educational, and I feel like that helped me a lot, and it changed my perspective on what I thought about it. And I was really open-minded about it. And at that point, I really, not that I needed something to like change my life. I was willing to do anything to like, I was just really open about doing new things. I was like, I'm down. Like I saw how good it's done me, like saying yes, like the movie Yes Man. I saw how good it's done me, saying yes to certain things. And I saw how bad it's done me too. But the percentage of the yes that I say versus the good and bad outcome have been a lot higher. Good things have been coming out of the things I've just agreed to do it. And obviously, like I ask my questions, I do my research real quick about it, and I get the whole 411 on it. But I one day I was like, you know what, I'm down to do it, bro. Like, and the thing with shrooms is kind of one of those things where you don't like convince yourself to do it. It just kind of happens. Like he calls me up. He already kind of educated me on all that, right? Calls me up one day on a Tuesday night, like around like 4 or 5, right? Calls me. I was like, yo, dude, you want to do some shrooms today? I'm like, I'm down. Like it just came out. Like I was like, I'm down. I don't got nothing to do right now. I
That's
already finished
crazy.
my jobs. Like I'm good.
Yeah.
And then he's like, cool, we'll do it. And then he's like, let's go to the gas station real quick, and grab like some little like something sweet to like, so once we're like high peak, we'll eat it and it tastes really good. I'm like, oh, this is cool. I'm excited. And he's like, how are we gonna eat it? He's like, well, we can put it in like a sandwich or whatever. We can eat it. We didn't have anything to put it with, so we just had water. I mean, orange juice and just the raw stems and caps. Just ate them. We got an eighth. We split it in half, which I think is a perfect dosage. 1.5 of a gram is a perfect dosage to get to a level where you won't get lost, but you will feel it, and you can kind of like open up to a whole another world where it's not like you can bring yourself back real quick.
I actually
Yeah.
I know a lot of people personally that do
Mm-hmm.
psychedelics, and they all say nothing but good things about it as well.
Mm-hmm.
They pretty much along the lines of what you just said, And yeah, no, that's crazy, bro. That's crazy.
It,
All right, so what are you doing
it,
tomorrow, man? Just fucking with you. Now let's get back into when you decide to make the jump to become a full-time videographer. How does that process happen?
um, I feel like that was a little bit of a mistake. Like it just happened. Like it was like an accidental thing. At first, I was doing photo and video for fun, right? I did my trip, my Europe and Oregon trip, just kind of for fun. Um, I think, coming to think about it, I think you were one of my first clients that hit me up for a video to
Dang,
do a
I do
video,
remember that. It was like
and I did it with a
2017.
GoPro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We were
So
doing some work for a production company, and you shot that video. I
yeah,
remember
that's
that.
some of my first top like actual client work. And I think that's kind of when I started realizing you can make money. But before that, like, I had a buddy that was doing some social media stuff, right? Social media marketing, to be more exact. And he was helping accounts grow engagement, likes, followers, type of thing, right? And I saw how easy it was to sell somebody on that. Everybody wants to be famous. Everybody wants to see those numbers up, and it's a service that's like 29 bucks, super cheap. Obviously we scaled it to another point where we were charging 100, 200, $1,000, because like we found other ways to make more money out of it, right?
Hmm.
um, we we started doing that. He put me on that, and I started doing that, and I was like, yo, this is dope, this is cool. Like I started learning more into, like, I started getting more into social media, getting more involved with that. I saw the power that this brought, and I saw what other people were charging for this type of service. I was like, yo, no way, this is an expensive service. And I see why it's an expensive service. It takes a lot of time, sit there and respond and kind of like learn the business of that client, and trying to figure out like how to best implement growth strategies to grow them out. Um, it took a lot of my time. And we got to the point where it started becoming residual. He was always on the thing. His name is Dallas, by the way. He's one of my closest friends till now. And he always has the things like, bro, we got to find a way where this is residual, like where people pay you monthly. I was like, what? He's like, imagine getting $29 or whatever, $50. Just put $50 by 5 different people or 6 different people every month. Think about that. And I'm like, that sounds cool. How do we do that? He's like, we got to do social media marketing, bro. We got to get these guys on marketing. We got to get them to sign up, and we grow them out. We start figuring out how to like grow their business. We start running ads. I'm like, oh, and he's like, and we can charge more because we're running ads. Ads is a whole nother level. I was like, oh, bro, I'm down. So I started learning how to run ads. Like literally, we sat there and started running ads, started doing stuff. And then we were trying to get clients for it, right? We started getting some clients. And then we realized real quick, we're like, bro, why are we trying to build somebody else's business? Why not sell our own product? He's like, duh, let's do it. So we thought about that. I think it took us 3 days tops. We launched a Shopify store. He started selling like bracelets and battery packs and like backpacks. I started selling travel stuff because like I got into a niche that I wanted to do. I wanted to travel. So I was like, cool, if I can sell travel stuff, I can possibly start traveling the world, because that's always been my goal. Travel the world and get paid. Live traveling the world. My end goal for all this is see the world twice. I want to travel around the world twice, I haven't even gone there once, but it's getting there as time goes on. And I started like selling those products. I was like, oh, this is cool. I started kind of like designing a little bit of graphics for it. And I was like, oh, this is cool. And then I realized, with photo video, like, yo, if I'm doing social media marketing, they also need content. I was like, okay, like, hey, let me shoot those photos that we were going to run ads for you on. They're like, oh yeah, we do need photos. Huh? I was like, yeah. And like, cool, we'll get that set for you. We'll set you up. And they're like, hey, so we want to run these ads, but I feel like the best engagement is video. Do you have any videos that we can run ads on? Oh no, were you think of something? Yeah, we can definitely shoot something up. Let me send you a proposal. And we started sending stuff out, right? I started seeing that just coming in. I was like, dude, this is sick. And that's when I started seeing like the business part of like photo video, like that. Right. I feel like that was more of my first passion before like the actual like taking it just for fun,
Right. So you got into that with from the social media marketing, that led you to creating video content for your clients. And at what point do you make the jump? Because I've seen you like shooting video for like EDM DJs. Mm-hmm. Like how did you get to that?
That also was faith, man. I don't know, luck or something. That hit me in a surprise too. I didn't think that was going to happen, honestly. I was obviously doing social media and everything. It was cool money. It was just getting too stressful. It was a lot of work, a lot of my time. I didn't really enjoy the money.
Didn't turn out to be as easy as you thought it was, huh?
No, not at all. I did that for a while. I did a couple of websites with it, ran a couple of ads. Like I'm so glad I did that, because I can still do it now, and I feel like I can get a good head start on it before I have to pay somebody to do it, And then after that, like I was like, photo video is kind of cool. My buddy was like, dude, you should do my wedding. I'm like, really? He's like, yeah. I'll pay you X amount. I'm like, nah, man, like I'm not interested. I sold my camera at that time, because I was kind of like I don't even know if I want to do this. Like the camera that I want, I want a better one, but it's too expensive. Damn, I jumped really far ahead, but it's kind of falls almost the same category. I started doing a lot of photo video, right? Just kind of getting photos, clients, doing portraits, going from that, hitting people up. And after that, I was like, yo, like I want to be a video DJ I want to be a videographer for DJs. It's like, how do I do that? It's like, I don't got nothing on my portfolio that shows that. Like, how do I do this? I was like, all right, let's start hitting people up, start making content. I just started sending emails out, like hitting them up on Instagram, like, yo, like, hey, I'm a videographer. I want to do this, and that. Like, let me record something for you. No, nobody, no. I was like,
this was all DJs you were reaching out to?
Yeah, a bunch of DJs. And I was like, I wasn't going for the top-notch DJs, like, by the way, like, because I know they're not going to respond. So I'm watching top-notch DJs, and then I'm seeing who they're bringing in, like as like opening or whatever, like up and coming DJs. I'm hitting them up. They don't got shit. I'm like, bro, your content, blah blah blah. Like, let me help you out. Do some photos, videos. I won't charge you. Just give me a pass, a media pass so I can get in. And no. I hit this guy up from Jersey. His name was Stevie G, like that Jersey house funk guy. And he turns out he's coming to LA to do a pop-up for 4B. 4B is a huge DJ. We all know who he is, right? Yeah. And I'm like, this guy, like I hit him up just thinking nothing of it, right? I saw the lineup of 4B and I was like, oh, whatever, screw this. I'm not even gonna get nothing to it. I started hitting up a random DJs. I started going down the thread of DJs, hitting them all up, see who would say yes. He was like, yo, I'm gonna be in LA. Can you come? I was like, yeah, when? Tomorrow. I'm like, okay, I'm down. He's like, where is it at? Sends me the flyer. I'm like, yo, that's that 4B pop-up. Like, he's gonna DJ later on that night. And he was like, yeah, just come record, blah, blah, blah. I was like, I'm down. Let's do it. I went. I'm recording him. 4B shows up. I'm like, yo, this is 4B. This is sick. And then next you know, this guy's doing a back-to-back with him. I'm like, oh, they're homies. I was like, these guys are homies. So I was like, cool. Like I recorded the video, some photos, whatever. I sent it to him. I did like a little, literally a little boomerang of him and like 4B kind of doing some cool stuff. Sends it out, posts it, and I'm like, dude, this is sick. Hits me up back. He's like, hey, you want to come back to Academy? I'm gonna DJ there. Like, if you want to come, we'll get you a pass. I'm like, I'm down, of course, right? We get there, and like I catch myself there recording. I'm like, dude, this is sick. And there's this other guy named DJ Tease, which happens. He's the guy that did a remix of, I think he's a Whistle song.
Mm.
I think he's one of the guys that did the Whistle song remix that blew up pretty big. He hits me up. He's like, yo, I saw what you did with CBG. Like, I'm going to be in Orange County if you want to come out. I'm like, I'm down. I went out to go record him. 4B shows up again with some other talent. I was like, damn, this is sick. So I started recording.
This would be like the third time that 4B sees you.
Yeah.
Right?
And I'm like, dude, this is sick. Like I started doing all that. Keep in note, like 4B has this guy. He has a dope guy that he shoots with all the time. And I'm like, I got to get to that guy's level. So I started practicing how to get there. And then I really wanted to do that. And I felt like that was my career was about to start taking off. And then I realized there's not a lot of money in that shit. Like, you're not, a lot of these DJs they don't have the budget. They don't have the money. The most they can give you is like a flight and then housing. And that's about it. But like, I got bills, go. Like I got to pay my bills, you know, like I can't survive off of this. Like, this is not what I kind of want to be doing, you know, for free.
Yeah, no, I think that's a big thing to say because, you know, people don't realize that, you know, the guy is selling out a show. There's a bunch of people there to see him. He looks like he's popping because he is, but, you know, they forget that sometimes he's still on the way up. So, you know, his budget is not the same as somebody that was already up there. And all of that stuff that you said is super dope. Good experience. But at the end of the day, how much money did you make? And you said nothing, right? It was all like, hey, come out here. You know, so it's crazy, bro, because that happens a lot in this industry. From the production side of things, you know, I sell beats and stuff. If I give a rapper a beat for free, I will never be able to sell him a beat after that.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? I would assume it's the same thing with a videographer. You know, if you do a video for a DJ for free, it's going to be very hard to get him to pay for that next time, you know?
Yeah.
So, like, I always think, you know, building up your brand to the point where they can feel and see that they're going to have to pay right from the start. You know,
there's a loophole with that.
What is that?
And I feel like a lot of people don't use it to their advantage. And I give the shout out to like doing social media back then because I had to be quick on my toes. And obviously I've always been selling things since I was little, kind of always trying to like sell something, right? So, and then one of my buddies too helped me out with like kind of figure it out, you know, like kind of get to it. And I was like, look, man, like I got to the point where I started reaching out to companies instead. You know, the DJ stuff I was not going to really hit. I'm going to reach out to companies. These companies can probably pay. They got budgets. They're running products. I was like, hey, like I can shoot this and this for you. This one's free. If you like my work, these are my rates. Let me know what you guys think. And there would be yes or no. And sometimes like one of them was like, yo, I'm down. What's up? Let's see what's good. And if they like me, they'll call me back. And they'll call me back. I was like, dope, this is sick. Like, so you kind of have to tell them that like straight off the point, like, yo, like I'm willing to do it. Like I want to grow. Maybe we can do the first 3 of them for free. But on the 4th one, like, you know, it's going to cost you this, or this is, you know, maybe we can work out new terms and help each other out because, you know, I do have to take care of this as a business of mine and kind of take on a different approach instead of trying to build your portfolio, which is good to do, but there's a limit of how much free shit you should do for a certain person. And I feel like that should be established right off the bat. If you don't do that,
dropping a bomb on that. That's nice.
Yeah.
You know, it took an hour into the podcast, but we got that sound bite. It's nice. No, dude, big facts, bro. I think that's a great strategy for anybody that's offering a service. You know, let them know right off the bat. This is free for this much. After that, here are my, you know, my rates or whatever. You know, and you're gonna run into those people that are cheap and they're just be like, he said 3 free videos. Boom, this is my 3rd one. Never call him back. You know, and then he goes and gets another guy 3 free videos. You know, but that's the difference between good clients and bad clients. You know, like you're going to have bad clients and then you're going to have good clients. Good clients are going to be people that are willing to pay you for your service and continue to come back for more work, you know? So that's dope. I like that. That was a big gem right there that you just dropped on them. Okay. You know, you get off the DJ thing. There's not a lot of money in that. Now you start hitting companies up. How long did you do that for until you got into the whole wedding thing? Or better yet, why did you leave companies? Because you obviously left companies, but what was the reason?
So I needed money now, you know?
It's my money and I want it now.
I want it now. It was cool. Like, it was great to like do it. You know, I got a couple hits, you know, I got connected with a couple people. It's true what they say. It's not what you know, it's who you know. And it's sad as that sounds, like it's so true. Like, a lot of the jobs that I've got was because of somebody that I know, but also is because I put my work out there. People see that I'm doing this stuff, you know, like, yeah, I reach out to these brands and I do free shit sometimes, but you know, like, they're seeing that I'm doing stuff for other people. So they're like, oh, like, and when they hit me up, they're going to, oh, I'm going to have to pay, obviously, because I'm hitting them up.
Yeah.
But I kind of realized pretty soon, you know, like, I was hitting these brands up. It was cool. I got a couple hits here and there, but it wasn't what I needed. I needed something bigger, right? At that point, I was like, it's my gear. I need to switch my gear. For some reason, I thought it's my gear. I got to switch this out. I can't do nothing because of my gear, blah, blah, blah. Like, I started playing tricks with my own self, right? It's really not your gear. It's your imagination, you know? You can do a lot with your brain, and we're very powerful people. We can do a lot with our phones, you know? And at that point, I didn't know that. So I decided to sell my camera, right? I sell my camera. I'm like, you know what, screw this. I'm gonna sell my camera. I'm gonna invest this money. My camera, I probably pay like $1,500. I got a Canon 5D Mark III. At that time, it was probably one of like the next like high levels, you know, right? Because for video mainly. And I was like, I need to sell it, and I'm gonna invest that money and trying to flip it. So in the next like 4 or 5 months, I can buy the next camera that I want, which is this bad boy, the Canon 1DX Mark III. This baby.
Oh, that little thing.
Yeah, bro. This is like this is the holy grail of cameras, bro.
What does that run? Retail price?
Oh, bro. It's still. It went down a little bit because they made a new version of it, but when I had got it, probably like just the camera itself, like 5,400.
No lenses or nothing.
None. The lens is like $2,000.
Wow.
The battery, $200. The memory card, another like $150. Then you got to get a SSD drive. The computer has to be able to put up with it. You got to do a whole upgrade basically if you get a camera like that, because there's a lot behind it, you know?
Yeah.
4K.
And you're the whole time your computer that's running all this editing is a MacBook, or you got an iMac?
At that time, I got an iMac. It was a good and bad thing that I got it. Good because it was big and I was able to do a lot of things. Bad because it was kind of interfering with my traveling around the world, working type of thing, you know? But that didn't stop me, man. I
remember
I don't know if you
pictures
remember.
of you in Starbucks with your iMac.
Yeah, so I figured out that you can take your iMac on an airplane and pass it through TSA with no problem. And there was actually
yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, there's actually a travel bag for it.
Okay,
you put it in there, and you can take it wherever you want. And I was like, bro, screw this shit. I'm taking this everywhere. Like, people might have said I made a bad choice on getting this iMac, but I'm gonna show them that I didn't make a bad choice. I can still go wherever I want. Watch, you know.
But did you deep down? Did you feel like, fuck, I did make a bad choice?
Yeah, I'm fucking idiot. Yeah, of course. I was a fucking idiot, bro. I was like, what am I thinking? But I'm so prideful. I'm not gonna tell people that right away. You know, I'm like, nah, it's the best thing ever. It's so big. I can travel. I can go anywhere I want. Look, you know what? I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna go work at Starbucks right now. No, you're not. You're not down. Trust me. I took it to Starbucks. I was working right there, and I was like, oh, this is sick. Like, I'm working in Starbucks. I get in free refills, you know, for 50 cents sometimes, because you know, like, and I was like, this is perfect. People were laughing. I'm like, I'm working. I'm getting work done. You got to go to your 9 to 5. You know, like, this is my job right here. And like, people make fun of me all the time, bro. Like, I seen people recording me, like, what is this guy doing? Like, this is not your house. I'm like, bro, like, I'm living my dream right now. Like, I'm actually saving up money because I'm gonna leave it to Colombia after this, you know. And I took that iMac to Colombia my first time I went out there.
Nice.
And I was out there just working with it.
That is dope, though. Let's just take a minute to highlight that I don't give a fuck attitude. You know, that I do not give a fuck attitude. I have an iMac right now. I made a bad decision. I could have got a MacBook Pro, but I got an iMac. This is what I have right now. This is what I got to get this project done. I'm going to make it happen. and
Yeah.
and then you're out there, people are looking at you, people are like, man, this fool's an idiot, what's going on? You're like, I don't give a fuck. And the way that you flip that perspective is like, I'm living my dream, I'm doing what I
Mhm.
want to do. What are you doing? And that's so powerful, bro. Like your mindset and perspective is everything, especially in
Yes.
entrepreneurship, because a lot of time in entrepreneurship, you can have everything against you. You could not be doing well financially, but the minute you start doing well mentally, the minute you stop doing well mentally, that's when shit goes down. That's like if water gets in the ship. Once
Oh,
water gets in the ship goes down, you know what I'm saying? But if
yeah.
you have if you're in debt, if your business is not going well, if your business venture did not go like you planned it, as long as your mind is sharp, you can dig yourself out of there, And I think that's a great thing what you just said, that mindset that you had while you were doing that. Now, just out of curiosity, when you got your iMac versus your MacBook Pro, was it at least souped up? It had hella RAM. It was like it can handle all kinds of shit. Or did you get one of the lower tier iMacs where like it was pretty much the same shit?
No, man. So I'm one of those guys that if I'm going to buy something, I'm going to buy the right thing that's going to last me a long time.
Mm,
I'm going to invest my money into it, which is one of the reasons why I got the 1DX, because it's the top-notch camera. It's very expensive, but the quality of it, the production, and the longevity of what I can produce with it, I'm probably not going to have to replace that camera for 5, 10 years,
nice.
or probably never, honestly. Like I've never thought of replacing it. The only time I thought of replacing it was maybe like a couple months ago because I'm like, I want to downgrade. I'm not really doing a lot of photo videos as I was before. But other than that, bro, like that's such a new thought. Like I've been doing photo video for the past 5 years now. So like I've never came through that thought of like, like since I had the camera, I was like, I never want to sell it, never. And
Mm,
that thought just came to me recently because I'm switching past like where I'm going. My journey's switching up. But yeah, man, my iMac was suit up all the way, RAM, memory, SSD, everything. I think I paid like almost like 3 grand, like almost 3 grand for it.
mm,
I was like, screw this. If I'm gonna go in, I'm gonna go in, And I needed it to be suit up because I was recording 4K videos at that time
right.
because I wanted to produce great stuff with that camera. And that's what brings me to the weddings. Like my buddy, when I was so backtrack real quick before I got my 1DX, the way I got it was I sold my first camera. I had like 1,500 bucks, 1,700 bucks. I sold it for, right. My buddy was selling cars. I sold a car or two before that, but he was selling it like on the legit level. Like he wanted to make a dealership out of it.
Mm,
He's like, "Hey, dude, come out here. I'm selling these cars. It's working out for me. I'm gonna get a dealer's license. Let's do it. Come flip some cars with me." I'm like, "Dude, I don't know. I'm not down. I don't really got the money." Um, and he was like, "Well, yeah, man. Like you got to come out. Just bring like a grand or something. We'll get it going." I was like, "Nah, I don't know. I don't know." And then one day I get a call from one of my great friends right now. It tells me, he's like, "Sell me your camera." I'm like, "No, you're crazy." I'm like half asleep, 7 o'clock. I'm tired. It's 7 p.m. by the way. I'm so tired because I usually work so late, so long on the computer. I was asleep. And I had told him about my camera as a joke, like, "Hey, I'll sell you my camera," like joking, just to see if he'll bite. Never. He's like, "Nah, nah, nah." And then one day hits me up out of the bloom, "Sell me your camera." I was like, "Nah, dude, I'm not gonna sell it to you. Like, this is my baby, it's my bread and butter." He's like, "Sell it to me. Come on, I really need it. Like, I really want it. I got the money. I'll go right now and I'll buy it cash. How much you want?" I'm like, 1,700. Deal. I'll be right there. I was like, "Oh shit. Fuck, what am I doing?" I hung up. I'm like, "All right." I'm like, "Mom, I'm gonna sell my camera. Oh, I don't know what I'm doing. Like, I don't know if this is a good idea." Like,
mm.
and I was like, "You know what? Screw it. I'm going to sell it because this is what's going to help me get my next camera. I'm going to take that money and I'm going to go buy a car. I'm going to flip that car for whatever and then just keep doing that until I have 5 grand to buy a new camera."
So you went and you bought a car for 1,700,
I bought it for 600 bucks.
600. What kind of car was it?
Yeah, it was a Hyundai, like a little Hyundai, purple, ugly looking little Hyundai.
Hmm.
It wasn't running. We got it at the auction. It wasn't running. There was problems with it. I think we put another 600 bucks in it, so like $1,200 in total came out to, right. We ended up fixing it up, getting a paint job, fixing a little bit of everything inside of it. The inside was nice, just the engine was kind of like something was wrong. So it took me like 1,200 bucks to get everything situated. Paint job was very cheap, by the way. It wasn't, you know. And then after that, like it took a while for it to sell, but my friend was pulling in so many other cars too. like he had his partner that was pulling in cars. So we're flipping those cars. And he was like, yo, I'll give you a percent of that. You know, like I was like, I'm down. And while we sell this one, I'll give you a percent. Like, I'm down. So we started selling other cars while that one sold. That one eventually ended up selling for 2,600. So that was some good profit on that, right?
And you guys were selling this like what, on Craigslist, or you had a dealership?
Craigslist, Facebook, OfferUp, Instagram, like literally whatever you can think of. Like I was just out there like trying to get that car sold. And we're pushing a bunch of other cars too at that same time. So we had a high volume of people coming in, and we had a physical location too. So when people would come, they would see, oh, I don't know if I like this car. Oh, don't worry, we got this other car here too. Come look at it. You know, it's it's for your price range. We're selling cars under $5,000.
Bro, you became the cliche used car salesman guy.
Exactly.
You got to that.
Yeah.
This is why I want to bring you on a podcast, bro. You've done everything under the sun. It's crazy. There was a time where you were working with somebody, you know, going back to the sleazy used car salesman, Kenny, right? There was a time, was that around the time where you were working with somebody that was selling exotic cars? Or was that
that's the same guy.
Okay, so how does that, like, did you get to the point where you went from selling used cars to selling exotic cars?
No, so I actually, let me back. So the reason why I got into selling cars was just to get my camera. The only reason why I was doing it was for the camera. As I was doing it, I can't remember if it was like 8 or 10 cars that I flipped within like the short amount of period that I was there. The money came and I was like, cool. And then the job came for the wedding. I didn't get to that level of selling the exotic cars, mainly because that was their business. That was what they were doing. I was just kind of the used guy cars, selling those cars. And like I had other little side projects that I was doing already anyways. Like, so that wasn't, for me, I wasn't trying to pursue selling cars for the rest of my life. Okay. That was, you know, it was more of like a quick flip. I need the money now because my main goal is to get my camera, because this camera's gonna make me money, you know?
Yeah.
And then one of the investors that was investing in the car industry with the company, he actually was the one that was getting married, and he was like, yo, do my wedding. I heard you can do videos. I'm like, I don't even have a camera. He's like, bro, come on. Like, I trust you with it. I only have a photographer. I have nobody else that will do it for me. Like, I'll give you $500 if you just come record, blah, 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 free food, this and that. I'm like, I don't even, you know what, whatever. I'll go back to my Costco days. I'll go pick up a camera from Costco. I get the Costco camera. Because I couldn't get my camera, dude. This camera was expensive, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, I grabbed the Costco one, right? And after that, grab it, record, get everything I need to do, and then I return it because I got the 90-day policy. Return it with the money he paid me. I made the video, obviously. He paid me that money. I got it, and I didn't think nothing of it, honestly. I didn't think nothing of that wedding. It took me a while to edit because I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know what I was getting into. I never edited a wedding before. I didn't even know what the hell, like, where to start. Like, bro, it took me days to get that done. Like I can say probably like almost a month to probably get that done for him, because no, maybe less, maybe like 3 weeks, because I was trying to figure out everything, like how to edit, color the wedding, because weddings is a whole nother thing. You gotta put emotion behind it, you know. You gotta make people feel some type of way when they watch this, because you know, it's a wedding. It's like it's a big thing. Like, you don't want to be the guy that fucked up the wedding video. Like, never. You know,
for sure.
You know, like, so there's a lot of pressure on me, and I was stressing out.
Well, yeah, because years after the wedding's over, you know, that's all they're gonna have left. You know, obviously,
exactly.
Besides the actual marriage, you know, but like they're gonna be able to look at that video and then, you know, look back at that time, you know, and if your shit was whack, then it's not. And then
the worst part about it was that they didn't really like the photographer's photos. So there was more pressure on me. Like, they're hoping that I would make the best thing out of this video. I was like, fuck, like, what am I going to do? So I started looking up a bunch of wedding videographers on YouTube. By the way, YouTube University is where I learned everything I know now. That's it.
Drop a bomb on that. YouTube University. Big facts.
I'm a master's in YouTube University, guys. Yeah.
You can find everything on there. But anyways, man, go ahead. Continue.
So, yeah, YouTubed everything, right? I send the wedding out to him. I didn't think nothing of it. I'm like, I'm going to keep flipping cars, you know? I'm going to get this camera. Get a call later. Yo, my buddy Cody is getting married. He loved the wedding. How much will you charge him for a wedding video? I'm like, what? Bro, I don't do weddings. What are you talking about? He's like, bro, charge him whatever. Like, he'll probably pay. Trust me. I'm like, nah. He's like, he will pay. He's a police officer. He wants a wedding. It's around the corner. He's last minute. He's going to pay. Shoot me a price. I was like, I don't know, bro, $1,200. Cool. Guy's like, yo, I'm down. Oh, sick. Let's do it. You know? Actually, no. Backtrack. Hold up. $1,200 were for two of us. I sold them a packet of photo and video. I reached out to my other buddy. I was like, yo, hold on. Let me backtrack real quick because this is where I saw the business. This is where I saw the business happen. This is when I saw the opportunity of like, we can make mad money in weddings.
This
right?
was the aha moment.
This was the aha moment, right? So he hits me up. He's like, yo, like, can you do my wedding? Blah, blah, blah. I'm talking to that guy. He's like, yo, like, I need photo and video. Like, can you do that? And I'm on the call, like, yeah, don't worry about it. I can get that done for you. We'll get everything done, blah, blah, blah. Hang up the call. I'm like, fuck, I don't even have a photographer. Like, what the hell am I going to do? Like,
so in other words, you sold something you didn't have.
Yes, but it's okay. It's okay.
Okay.
This is how you progress in life. You figure it out.
No,
you know?
I believe that. I believe that. It's just funny to tell.
You have no idea how many times I do that.
Hey, bro, I've been
think.
there, done that. I mean, for sure.
So this whole thing happened, right? And I'm like, what the hell am I going to do? I don't know anybody that does photos, you know, like, I don't know what I'm going to do. And I was like, oh, and it clicked. The guy that bought my camera the first time, his name is Chris. Great guy, great photographer. By the way, I think he would be great for your podcast too. He has a great story behind everything. Dope. This guy, I called him up because I was like, yo, I remember he has my camera. He's into it. Like, let me hit him up. I was like, yo, what's up, man? Like, have you ever done a wedding? Blah, blah, blah. And like, I kind of hit him with the idea of like, yo, we can do this. This is how many hours. Like, what do you think? What kind of pricing you got? And he hits me with the price. I'm like, sick. I'm with it. Call the guy up. The price was already set, by the way, with the other guy. I kind of already agreed before I even hit this other guy up, you know? Because I don't want to lose the client. I was like, yo, it's $200. Like, I don't know how we're going to split this up, but we're going to get this money. And I told him, like, bro, $200, 50-50, let's do it. You down? Yes or no? Yes, let's do it. So we did that. Next thing you know, man, like, this happened in, I think, like August of I can't remember the exact year, but it happened. Within that period, I think everything just kind of hit. We probably did over 30 weddings in our first year of weddings.
Wow.
And like, yeah, everything took off because it's all about referrals there at that point, you know?
Mm-hmm.
The referrals came in. Chad till now, Chad is still making me money. Like, he's hooked me up with a lot of weddings since then. Like, not even weddings, like real estate photography, cars, like some other stuff that he wants me to take photos of. Like, he's always just hooked me up. And like, I always give him a little kickback referral for hooking me up because this guy's made me a lot of money, you know, and I appreciate that. So like, the other guy, Cody, sends me a referral too. We get another guy, then Chris gets somebody else, and then that kind of cut somebody else. Next, you know, we got 2-3 weddings. Next, you know, we're doing 4 weddings in 1 month. Next, you know, we're doing 2 weddings like on the same weekend. And it just started growing so quick. I was like, whoa, what the hell? And like, the whole business kind of started happening there. I was like, people are willing to pay for this, you know, like the stuff that they want is very valuable. And, you know, I've always had this little thing, like, if you're going to sell something, it has to be valuable, or somebody's going to have to want it in order for them to pay that price, you know? So wedding photo and video is probably on the top values of things, you know, besides a home and other stuff, right?
Right.
But people are willing to pay top notch for it, and especially the bride. And there's a rule there's a little saying is, you know, happy wife, happy life. So if you agree to whatever your wife says, your life is going to go great. And what does the wife want? She wants photos and she wants videos. Yeah. And who's that guy that's going to provide that? Right here, you know?
Now, are you going to be the one that tells her no? And then he's like, all right, fine, let's do it.
Yeah. See, the beauty of this is I don't really have to talk to these guys sometimes, the grooms, you know? It's always the girl hitting you up. And that's when I was like, yo, it's the girl that wants it. So like, if you can get her emotions up and like, if you would trigger something in them, they're going to want to do it. And obviously, like, I sound like a salesman, and I am, but I'm passionate about all this stuff, you know, like I started seeing like what the power of photo and video does, you know, like for me personally, because every time I look back at my Europe photos and videos, I'm like, damn, best time of my life. Like, holy crap. I still look at them right now, you know, like I like to reminisce a lot, you know, and it reminds me of where I was. And it's kind of like a journal. It's like a digital journal, you know? And that kind of it grew everything so far out, and the business just started, it came from that, you know, and I became very emotionally attached to these videos, and it made me feel good how people started feeling about it. And I started taking it more serious. really serious. Like made a whole brand with it, called Destination Moments. That's where we do the weddings. Um, I'm still doing weddings now, but it's on contract. I'm kind of like slowly moving my way out of it, and a lot of it has to do because of the pandemic, not because I just one day just like I never want to do this. Like I was full throttle, gonna do weddings, make a big business out of it, and then
Yeah, I
you know
remember
it
that.
didn't
We
work out.
actually had a meeting with my business partner, and where we were gonna have you be one of our vendors for our production
Yeah.
company. You know, everything was going good, everything was lined up. We were gonna do cross promotion, start offering you, and in return you would offer our services for others,
Mhm.
and then the world changed, literally.
Yeah.
You know, it was just kind
Which
of a bummer.
surprisingly, as bad as I saw it come in, like as bad as it hit me, and like as negative as I was, it's the best thing that ever happened to me.
Hmm.
Best thing, hands down, in the world to ever happen to me. Like it took me to a whole another level. Like it made me a whole new person, man. Like I was 100% sold on I'm gonna do weddings. I didn't want to do traditional weddings anymore. I was kind of getting like tired of it. It was really dragging, you know. And like I couldn't, like I want to travel the world. It's still my goal, right? And doing weddings, you're restricted because you're doing them locally most of the time, right? So
Yeah.
like, I want to take this to a whole nother level. I want to do destinations wedding. Next thing you know, before next thing you know, I got a destination wedding to go to Hawaii. My first destination wedding within almost my first, not even my first year of doing weddings, I had a wedding to do a destination right away. I was like, damn, that's how I knew I had the talent and the passion to do something like this, because everything just kind of came so quick. It was so easy for me, you know, and it just everything would naturally just flew. But I was like, I want to do destinations wedding. When you know 2020 was coming around towards the end of the year, I'm like, I want to do something. I got to get out of this funk. Like I'm in a pickle. It was like September through November was like a dark time for me. December too, like a lot of like dark moments. You know, I lost one of my closest best friends. You know, like that hit me really hard. It made me appreciate life differently. Um, and there's a lot going on in my life that it really threw me down. Like I was in the darkest, deepest hole you can ever think of, man. Like it was dark, you know. And so what I started doing, I started driving on PCH. I love the beach. I love palm trees, and I love taking photos. I started taking a lot of photos and videos of it, documented it. I started picking up the momentum of like doing photos again because I kind of lost it. And it clicked. I was like, I'm gonna focus only on destinations weddings from now on. I'm gonna make this business pure destinations. I'm gonna book 25 weddings, all destinations. You know, and the only way I'm gonna book a traditional wedding in the States is if they're wanting to take the package that I'm offering. I'm not gonna go nothing less. I'm not gonna budge. I only want to do travel ones, right? As soon as I said that, I started pushing hard for it. Bam, bam, bam. December comes. I'm running out of money. I don't have no money, man. Like all my money went into my gear. I'm going broke, thinking of Ubering again. I had a bunch of bills. I was like, damn, what the? My whole life was just shutting like crazy. Like
At this point, you're back in the States.
I'm back in the States. Yeah.
Mm. Okay.
At that point, I haven't traveled for like about 3 years. In
Okay.
that point, yeah. And the first travel, like set of my life, that first year was like the most travel I've did, and then 3 years after that, didn't travel much. I
Mhm.
went to different states, little here and there, but not out of the country like how I wanted to. Went to Guadalajara in Mexico. That was fun, but I want to take it to another level. You know, I'm a little extra.
Yeah, yeah, that's fine. So
So
you're driving around December. You're thinking about doing Uber because you know things are getting hard, and then what happens?
yeah, everything's getting hard. So I started pushing really. I was like, I'm not gonna go back to Uber. Screw that. I'm not gonna do everything else that I was doing. You know, like I know I can make money off of photos and videos. I know, and there's people that owed me money that haven't paid me money. So that kind of hurt me a lot too. So I was like trying to collect money from these guys, and little by little it started coming in, but not enough. I was like, damn. So I started pushing like hard, marketing hard. Next, you know, the second day of New Year, like the new year, I get a response. Somebody's like, "Oh, we want to book you for our wedding. You know, we're interested in your packaging. Can we talk on the phone?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure, why not?" I didn't think nothing of it. I was like, these guys are not going to want to book me, right? Talking to them, this changed my life too. After this, like, it made me a better person because I was like, "Yo, this is sick." They're like, "We're having our wedding in Iceland, and we want you to come." I'm like, "Oh." What Iceland is like, any photographer in the world knows Iceland is the spot for the best photos in the world. Like some of the best photos are in Iceland and Switzerland.
Wow.
Mm. Yeah, and I've been there once and it was amazing. And I wanted to go back. And then like that happened and they're like, yo, we want to book you. I hit them with my rate and everything. They're just like, no questions asked. They're like, yes, here's the deposit. What? And I was like, yo, this is sick. Next thing you know, like I get another hit up. Hey, we need a videographer to come to Arizona just to record only, no edit. How much? I told them my price. They're like, okay. I'm like, whoa, that's like $2,000 right there just to record. Like I'm down. Like I don't have to edit. It's like, yeah, like count me in.
What
I want to go
what
do
happened with
that.
that particular project? Somebody was editing?
So it was a production. It was a wedding production company. So it was all,
Ah.
they were just outsourcing everybody,
Okay, I get it.
literally.
I get it.
Yeah. So with that, like that was good. Like they paid me out. I think they hooked me up like 3, 4 weddings with them. Until I was like, you know what, I'm leaving. I'm not gonna be able to do this anymore.
Mhm.
Because everything was Arizona, and it got to the point where I was trying to move to Arizona. You know, like I was posting ads on Facebook to Arizona, right? So because that's kind of where I wanted to go. Every video that I was posting was in places that I wanted to go:
Mhm.
Hawaii, Iceland, and Arizona, and a little bit of like Europe, right? Trying to get out there.
Now, what happens when the client clicks on that ad and they get on the phone with you and they realize that you're, miles away and they have to pay for your travel? What kind of reactions did you get?
Well, I didn't get a reaction out of it because they already knew what they were getting into. Because the video that I was running the ad on was the Hawaii wedding. So everybody knows when you go to Hawaii, it's for a wedding. It's not like you live in Hawaii, you know?
Okay,
So
okay.
it was already a destination, and I'm marketing it as a destination. I'm putting in the bio, like in the caption, like, oh, destination going worldwide. Hit me up for your rates, accepting them from here to here. So they already knew what they were getting into. They're
Mhm.
just trying to figure out how much it was going to cost them.
Now, what about all of these clients that you've gotten so far for the
Mm.
destination? Are these people out of referrals, or are they out of a website and or the online ads you're running?
So a good amount of it was referrals. When I switched to, I'm sorry, my bad. The destination was a referral. That was just kind of like Instagram type of thing, relative related to them, and gone that way. Actually, that client was my ex-girlfriend's cousin, and that kind of was a funny, interesting thing.
Yeah.
But that happened with that wedding, right? That was that one. The other ones were all just me hitting up people, running ads, like trying to get destination stuff. So that was just on destination, not even me like referrals. It's just me doing the outreach, doing the work for it.
Okay. Now let's talk about that for a second. Running ads for anybody that's
Mhm.
trying to sell their services or a digital
Uh-huh.
product. What is some of the key things that you've learned about running ads online?
Uh, don't do it. I'm just playing now. I was trying to break, like, not so serious.
Congratulations,
But no,
you played yourself.
I played myself. Yeah, I know. I played myself on that one. There's a lot behind it. Honestly, it depends on the business, what you're trying to accomplish with it, what kind of services you're providing. And the world is really different right now, especially with this whole pandemic. Like if you would ask me pre-pandemic, I would have had a great answer for you. Now pandemic, it's different. It's all kind of you have to have a lot of value. Like you have to have good value, good content, good quality content is what I like to think. And you got to be able to provide something that people want. What do people want during this pandemic? They want to lose weight. They want to learn new things.
Uh-oh,
So
you're
what's a
getting into the
good
fitness industry now.
what's a good thing? What's a good thing to run ads on? Fitness stuff.
Yeah.
Stuff that people need. But then you got to think about it. It's the fitness is so saturated. Do you want to get into that fit? Do you want to get into that? Damn, it's hard. It's a hard field to get into. It's so saturated, right? Don't let that discourage you because you can still do it, but you got to provide something different.
When you were
How do you
running
provide?
ads, sorry to cut you off there. When you
Yeah, you
were
go.
running ads, were you doing Facebook ads or were you doing Google ads, Google search ads?
Everything. Facebook, Google, a little bit of Twitter just to see what's up. Didn't really hit Facebook. So the way to do it is I don't know now because it changed a little bit the way the algorithm works. Obviously, we all know, we got Mr. Zuck changing everything up for us,
Hmm.
and then we got Mr. Amazon taking everything else. So, not to knock on them, they're great people, by the way. They just like to take everybody's business, but um, it's Facebook usually would, if the ad does good on Facebook, you throw it on Instagram. If it does good on IG feed, you throw it on IG story. If it's doing good on IG story, you run it Snapchat and you outsource everything else, but it doesn't
Mm.
really get that far. It usually goes to IG feed and IG story. You're running ads that way, right? You start targeting people. It works. It gets click funnels, but I feel like to get more genuine, and it's kind of corny, is friends. You got to get your friends. You got to get your cousins. You got to get people like that to promote your business. Yeah, you can hire an influencer. You can send it to somebody that's top notch, 5,000 followers. It could work if they have a strong base, a strong fan base. If they don't have a strong fan base, or they're constantly running ads, they're constantly selling products to people, they're most likely tired out their fans. Like, they're not gonna be able to sell anything because they've already sold everything. You know?
Interesting. That's a good way to put it out there.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's something new that I'm getting into, or just a world that I'm just discovering. As far as paying influencers to advertise a product. So that's pretty dope, man. You talked about getting out of the business of weddings and stuff. A lot to do with it because of the pandemic. Where are you headed now? What direction do you see yourself going?
Uh, Everything digital. I'm so digital now, but everything digital. I want to be more. I want to be able to provide a service that I can do on my computer.
So like digital
Whatever
products.
products, web design, app design,
Oh,
video
okay.
editing videos. I want to be able to, whatever I'm gonna do, I want to be able to do it from my computer and my phone. I'm
Hmm.
tired of being restricted. I'm tired of having to stay in one state, one city, one country. I'm tired of having to be like, oh, I'm sorry guys, I can't go to Big Bear this weekend because I got to work. Oh, I can't do this because of that. Like, I want to be able to be like, yeah, I'm down, I'll go. Or like, oh, I can't go because I'm currently in another country, but when I'm back, I'm down to do this. I'd rather
Hmm.
have that problem than being like, oh, I can't. I got to go record this video for this guy. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm still doing it. Like, it's still good money. Like, I still have clients. I'm still in contract with a lot of people, and I still see myself doing that. Not a lot, but a good amount um where it's more of like I pick and choose who I'm gonna work with now. It's not
Right.
really like I need to work with them.
Dope, dope, dope. Okay, okay. I
So
see that,
let me,
man.
let me turn on this light real quick because it's
Yeah,
getting dark,
yeah,
right?
for sure. To wrap this up, man, what is out of all of your crazy business ventures, right?
Mhm.
Everything that you've been on, whatever, you could pick whatever. Share a story with us, man. We're gonna get into story time, which is that segment I told you about. You know,
Yeah,
I'm talking like from the young Kenny to now. I'm not that you're old or nothing, but you know what I'm saying.
yeah,
Share a
the
story time with
wise.
us, man. What you got?
So back when I was my teens, for sure. I honestly don't know what I was thinking, to be quite honest with you. But I thought it was a good idea. I thought it was a great idea, actually, to start a pooping scooping business. Yeah, yeah.
My bad, dog.
So, nah, you're good. Like, I don't know what got into me. I don't know what the hell I was thinking. Like, I really thought like I was committed, bro. Like, I'm telling you, committed to the point where I made an email. I was looking at tax information. I made a
Bruh.
flyer. I was getting a whole routine. Like, I'm gonna go pick up dog shit for $15, $20 an hour from my neighbors. If you have two dogs, it's $20. If you have three dogs or it's a bigger dog, it's like $30, $40. Every 2 weeks, twice a week, I'm gonna come to your house.
Uh-huh.
You know?
So at the
And
time, you just kind of were hoping that your clients would leave the shit there for you to show up, right? Like they
yeah.
would just let it
Well, it
pile up.
started with my neighbor. It
Okay.
started with my neighbor. My neighbor has two big ass Labradors, right?
Uh-huh.
Bro, the smell of that is insane, dude. Like, to the point where I offered to go clean that for her because it's coming into my house, bro. Like, it's disgusting, right? Like, I want to go clean it for her because it was nasty, dude. And I was like, oh gosh, how many people are doing this? I'm sure a lot of people are doing this right now. Like, never, I, I swear to God, man, she's never touched her backyard. It's for the dogs. Like, there's that much poop. You couldn't walk, man. You couldn't walk anywhere. It was disgusting. Like,
Ugh.
bro, it was disgusting. Like ever since I cleaned it up, she was my loyal clients, and I didn't do it long, but she was loyal, you know. And I just kept, and she was like, "Oh, Larry across the street would like this too, you know." And I was like, "Okay, I'm gonna go try it." And that's when I was like, and he was like, "How much?" He's like, "Oh, $25. How many times can you come?" He's like, "Twice." He's like, "Okay, $50 a day. I mean, $50 a week. I'll be done in an hour." I had a big ass show and everything. I was ready, man. I was ready to go all in. And once I did those two, I was like, I'm gonna make this a business. Like that was so easy. What the hell? Like I can do this all day. Let's
Yeah.
do it. I started running flyers for it, right? I started going door to door. Hey man, I had a whole little pitch for it too. Like
Let's hear it. Let's hear it.
nah, the pitch was kind of like it's like, do you have dogs? It's like, yeah. It's like, do you have, you know, like, do you have dogs? Like, yeah. It's like, you know, would you want me to do that chore for you and pick up the dog shit for them? Like the dog poop? I wouldn't say shit. I was like the dog poop for them. They're like, what? It's like, I know you don't want to do it. I'm sure your kids never want to do it. Like, I'll do it. Like, I have my shovel right here with me, and I got a bag. You know, I'll do it for you. It's only like $15, depending on what kind of dog it is. You know, if it's 2 or if it's 3. Here's my paper. Check it out. They're like, oh, you're serious? Like, yeah. It's like, man, I'm good, man. It's okay. I'm like, damn, like I thought it was gonna be easy. Go to the next house. The other house is like, looks at me. They're just like, what the hell? Like, this guy's like, is he really serious about it? I'm like, yeah, like I want to do this. This is what I'm trying to do. I even had like a little business card that I was like kind of leaving at the doors.
What was the name of the business?
I can't remember, man. It was
Kenny's Poop Scoops.
no, dogs something. Doggy doo doo or something. I can't remember, man. I had a whole flyer. I gotta find it.
You were young, right? You were like in your teens.
I was in my teens for sure, man. Probably
Yeah.
like, I don't know, 16 maybe.
Yeah, yeah.
15, 16, yeah.
That's cool, man.
That was like the most embarrassing story that I've had.
That's cool. I think a lot of entrepreneurs had something funny like that when they were kids, you know, that they tried to do and didn't work
Don't do
out.
it,
But
guys.
nah, I wouldn't say don't do it. I would say like, I would say if you're younger, you know, if you're like my sister right now, she's getting ready to go to college and she's just been breaking her head trying to figure out like some sort of business, you know, that she can do. And she's got something going on right now. She got, she's selling flower bouquets, you know, for people.
Ooh.
And low key, bro, she's been actually doing surprisingly well, like for real.
Oh.
Yeah, she's got an order.
You know what
like every week.
You know what I think it is too?
Mhm.
Like not knocking on her or anything, but like what I've realized with this whole pandemic, a lot of people realize big corporations don't give a fuck about you. A lot of people realize that, right? So what are they doing now? They're supporting small businesses.
Yes.
So anything small is being supported 10x. And like you do something, I'm down. Like people are spending money on other people instead of the corporations now because they're like, yo, like screw them. Look at them. The whole pandemic, they're allowed to be open, but I'm not.
Mhm.
Like what? Like there's so much injustice going on in the world that people realize that, and now they're supporting younger people, like people that are like starting off like us, you know, and it's a great. I feel like it's a great time to start a business, you know, and it's one because you're home, so it's a perfect time to. You're not doing shit most of the time, you know. You're just at home. Like why not? You know, and if you don't got money coming in, that's a great way to do it without, you know, with low capital. And it's online. Like think about it this way. If you have a digital item, like you produce beats, it's a digital item. You're in your home. You can do it anywhere you want. Literally be taking a dump and making a beat, right? Put it online and that's it. You drop another one. You can drop thousands of them, right? Someone's going to pick it up. And when they pick it up, they'll pay you out. And it's going to just, it hits a chain effect. It just starts rolling in. It starts coming in. It starts coming in. That's how I see it. Like the way I want to start doing stuff, like there's a couple of new ventures I'm going to start doing pretty soon. I'll probably announce it later on Instagram, just not yet. Cause every time I come up with these ideas, someone always takes it and I'm just like, bro, like I was already thinking that, like, I just rather not, you know? But there's a couple ideas I'm thinking of and I'm just like, yo, this is great for this because it's all online. People are going to love it. It's a service, it's an item or whatever the case could be. And people are going to buy it all the time. And you can scale that 10x, man. Cause you literally can make a website for your music. Which, you know, I can help you, by the way. I can make you a website for your music, your beats.
There he is.
Yes. Website for your beats and start running little ads, put it on YouTube. And I can be your marketing guy, by the way, too. We'll get you all on Spotify, all these places, and put all these beats out there. And eventually someone's going to like it. You sell it for whatever you want to sell it for. And then the train just starts coming down. Like once somebody starts buying, you start collecting data and you start seeing who's your clientele. And it just goes like that. And like online digital stuff, it's where it's at right now. Like, we're going to the point where we can't even go into certain places without a mask. It's going to get to the point where we can't even fly international until we have the vaccine. I hope it doesn't happen, but I'm sure it's going to happen. It is going to happen. But we're at that point now. So what's the best thing to do, man? Start an online business.
Yeah, I think that what you're saying is very true. And I've actually been looking into that a lot, the last couple of, probably the last 2 months or so. Digital products for sure are a huge thing. A big example of this that I've noticed is videographers are selling effect transitions packs, right? That you could just download and then graphic designers are selling cover art packs, where you can take templates. And I just bought a cover art pack for $20, okay? $19.99 with like damn nearly almost 100 different templates. And I don't even need Photoshop because I can use it on Canva, right? And
I know what you're talking about.
That was the whole sales pitch, right? Because the market on that is not for graphic designers. The people that they're selling that product to is for people that do something else, like music, producers or whatever, and they just need to be able to make a quick little cover. You know what I'm saying? Like something quick. Exactly. Nothing major, right? I still got my homie Fresh that does all of my cover artwork for graphics, right? So anytime I got a serious graphic that I need, I hit him up. But in the meantime, for $20, I can make these little covers real quick, for my beats, right? And like those hustles are dope. Producers are selling sound kits, drum kits and stuff like that. And that's just the world that I know. There's a bunch of other things you can buy digital that I think is definitely going to be a new wave. That connected to ClickFunnels. ClickFunnels are a huge eye opener for me, dude. I've been getting into ClickFunnels so much, and I wanted a website for a minute, and I still do. But right now, I'm realizing that the ClickFunnels is going to give me a quicker turnaround.
Way better.
Yeah. So.
So like one little like knowledge bomb for somebody out there that wants to do a business, if you don't mind sharing that, if I can share that with them.
Yeah.
So think about it this way. When you're thinking of starting a business and you want to do something, do whatever you want, whatever you like, whatever is interesting to you, whatever you find amusing, whatever you think is cool, whatever you think is like, yo, this is sick. I'll buy that. Because just like how you would buy it, there's hundreds of people that would buy it, like hundreds of people that are going to buy that. And other people might be like, oh, it's just weird. I don't know if I want to do this, blah, blah, blah. Like, you'll be surprised what people buy on the internet. They buy some pretty interesting things. There's this thing in the crypto community called NFTs. NFTs are digital assets and that you hold digital items. These NFTs are going for $10, $13, $30, $100,000, bro. It's digital art that somebody just made, like some graphic designer, some animator, some trading card, whatever you can think of. They just made this digital item and they're just like, I want to have that. And people would pay money for that, dude. There's this website called Super Rare. Go to Super Rare. They sell a bunch of NFTs and you'll see what I'm talking about, guys. Like people literally will buy anything. And like, why are you gonna buy an item that's digital that you can't even own and spend $3,000 on it just to say you have it?
Can you at least use it as like your wallpaper? Like it's pretty much just a graphic, right?
It's a graphic. If it's an animating, you can't really do much but just have it there and just show people like, yo, look what I have. Like, you make that? No, I bought it. How much? $3,000. Like, what?
That's crazy.
What?
No, times are changing, bro. Times are changing. There's opportunities for creatives out there for sure. Good job to anybody who thought about that. Anybody that's making and selling a graphic for $3,000. That's good for them and good for that community, man, for sure. Dude,
that's what I'm saying. Like you can do and sell whatever you want, whatever you like. It's just if you're gonna do it, get into it, like passionately about it. It may not work and it's okay, but you're going to learn a lot from it, and it's going to take you doing it to learn from it. And just get out and do it. Like, I think the biggest thing that holds people back is not doing it, being scared, kind of overthinking about it. And just once you start doing it, you start doing it, you're like, damn, this is sick, and you start rolling with it. People will start appreciating it, and they'll buy it eventually. If you feel like it's not working, you've been trying for like 2-3 years, and maybe it might be time to switch paths, but most of the time that doesn't happen. Like I hope it doesn't happen.
Yeah.
So yeah, just follow what you think is cool and what you like, and who knows? There's other people like us that are there's a lot of weird people like me.
That's funny. No, big facts, man. And on that note, I think we'll wrap it up, bro. I think that was great advice for all the young entrepreneurs out there, and including ourselves, man, because we're still in the process of trying to figure this whole thing out. You know what I mean? And it's great. Great having you on a podcast, man.
Psychedelics.
There you go. Get that in there.
That's how you find it out.
One last thing, man, that I want to touch on real quick before we go is like this whole self-improvement, area of your life. Is there anything that you do to get yourself mentally, in a good place? Do you practice meditation? Do you write in a journal? Do you read books? Do you say affirmations? Are you a big believer on those things? How do you feel about all that?
Oh, bro, that is glad that you said that. So I do have a journal. I write on it all the time. I have a book right here that's called Atomic Habits, by far my favorite book of all times. Changes Your Habits. Great book, by the way. A lot of reading, like I've realized, like the self-improvement stuff it's getting out of your head. You got to get out of your head. The main thing, get out of your head. And what better way to get out of your head is by writing your thoughts down and literally being blunt about it. Like you start rambling, and next you know, you just go off. Exercising is a huge part of like my mentality. It changed a lot, and my eating habits too, like eating cleaner. That helps me a lot. Obviously not doing too many drugs, that helps obviously a lot too. Cutting down on a lot of things, like, I went cold turkey on alcohol. Like I didn't drink for a couple months. I smoke weed, I like it, it brings a different side of me, but I go cold turkey on that too, just to kind of do a whole cleanse of the body, and it helps me out. And, I feel like working out, eating properly, not when you get up, don't grab your phone right away. Just be in your mind, being yourself. It's kind of like a meditation thing, being within yourself, and take that time for yourself. And within that time, just kind of look around, appreciate what you got, write down your thoughts real quick, write down your dreams if you can. That's even better. And, just be like, okay, cool. Like I'm ready to get into this world, because once you grab your phone, you're in a whole new world now. So, try to like be within the world instead of, don't let the world be you, be the world, type of thing. So a lot of reading, exercising, eating right, and then obviously getting good rest. And then,
there it is. Kenny Lopez, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah.
Thank you.
That was a good way to wrap it up, man. Great podcast. We went really long. This is definitely the longest podcast that we have had. Woo. But it is filled with a lot of gems, man. A lot of great stories. Cool, man. I know that I said that was going to be the last thing, but I remembered as you were talking, quickly run down, tell us what happened. You got stranded in Colombia because of the pandemic?
Oh. Yeah.
What's the quick rundown on that? Were you literally like, you couldn't get back into the country? You had to like live there for a couple months?
Yeah. So, yeah, basically I couldn't leave. As you all know, pandemic came, full lockdown, world lockdown. I went with the mind of like, I'm going to go for 2 weeks. I've always wanted to live in Colombia. Just a little side note. I've always wanted to live there. I just didn't think I was going to live there this like 2020. I was like 2021, I'm going to live in Colombia. I already know it. Or not even that. September, by the time my birthday comes of 2020, I'm going to live in Colombia. No doubt. I'm going to do it. Some way, somehow I'm going to do it, But I wanted to go visit real quick because I missed it. I haven't been there in a long time. I needed to get that back in me, see how I was going. This whole pandemic's coming around, and I'm like, it's not a big deal, whatever, right? It's just a little spoof, like I ain't scared. So I went, 2-week plan. Next thing you know, 2 days before my flight was due to leave, 2 weeks before, my flights get canceled.
Dang.
I'm like, what? But before my flights get canceled, the country gets shut down. So I'm already shut down. Like my first week, great. I was able to enjoy it. The second weekend, shut down. The full world got shut down. I was like, damn. And like, keep in mind, LA shut down before Colombia. Like you guys shut down literally the week I left,
Yeah.
And then as soon as I get into Colombia, like I'm like, oh, I'm living great time here. It's cool. Don't even worry about it. I'm fine, mom. I'm good. gets shut down, and then my flight gets canceled, and they're like, further notice. The whole world is like, what am I gonna do?
Are you
Like,
in a
what the hell?
hotel?
Like, no. Luckily, I have my buddy that lives over there.
Oh,
My buddy
okay.
Dallas lives out there, and he was staying at this guy's house named Dave, and he had an extra room. And they're like, "You can come, kick it here, stay for a couple weeks, 2 weeks, because that's what they thought, right?" And then the whole pandemic hits, and luckily that guy Dave was such a nice guy and let me stay there for long. He's like, "Dude, don't worry about it. You can stay here as long as you want. I know it's hard. You can't get out." And when I mean you can't get out, you can't get out. Like, you can't leave your house. The airports are closed down. There's no way of going anywhere, like nowhere. Like, they took it serious, a lot more serious than the states took it. I
Yeah.
think you couldn't go anywhere, man. Like, if you were caught outside, you're getting a ticket, you're getting a big trouble. There's to the point where there's military helicopters flying around the city, making sure that nobody's outside.
Wow.
There's military people driving around the neighborhoods and motorcycles, making sure no one's outside because of that.
And
Like,
now is
like
Colombia
they don't.
back open?
Yeah, now it's a lot open. Some restrictions, just like anywhere else, but it's open, fully open. But at that time, man, full lockdown. Didn't even know what was going on. I didn't know what the hell I was gonna do. Like, I'm gonna run out of money soon. Like, all my job that all my work that I do is physical, weddings and all that. So luckily those got pushed back. I was able to stay a little bit longer. The humanitarian flights opened up around like June, I think. And that's when I started leaving. I'm out there early March. So from March to June, like, I couldn't do nothing.
So now this guy Dave has got like a stranger in his house living there for months out of nowhere.
Yeah, yeah. Luckily for him, I'm a
Wow.
great guy,
Yeah.
So he enjoyed my presence, and we had a dog named Chewy that loved me. That I was always the only one that was kind of taking him out or taking her out, playing with him, and his, and for him, it was a great thing for me to be there because I was the only one that was probably kind of cleaning and cooking, because I'm an OCD. I need
Yeah.
my place clean, and I obviously, like, I want to eat.
Yeah.
So I was kind of always like kind of sweeping type of thing, kind of keeping it clean. He has a dog, he's a Labrador, sheds everywhere, right? So yeah, man, like, I'm sure he enjoyed it because I was always cooking meals for everybody because I appreciated the fact that he let me stay there. One, two, I felt like I was intruding on both of these guys. I was like, damn, like, I got to make sure like I'm not a burden to anybody.
Yeah,
I got
big
to
for
keep to
sure. Yeah.
myself. I'm gonna cook for everybody if anything, and that's about it. And as time went on, I was quickly figured out, like, I was like, all right, I ain't gonna be no one's bitch, bro. Like, screw this shit. Like, I'm tired of this. Like, I'd rather pay rent or something because I don't want to do this. I'll cook for myself. I'll clean for myself. That's about it. Time went on. We started learning more and more, and then that's when like new ventures came on. The humanitarian flights opened up, but I've adapted so quick that I didn't want to leave, and I got to the point where I didn't need to leave anymore because I was making some money now. And I was like, oh, sick. And that's kind of when I decided to stay there. I stayed there until October.
Nice.
So basically the whole time I was out there, and my whole life changed because of it. And I appreciate it a lot. I took a lot from it. I learned a lot. I met some great people. Um, and I'm glad for this pandemic, as sad as sad as it was for a lot of people and dramatic how as it was, but for me was something that I really needed to change my life for the better. And it made me a different person, work and personally. And it just brought so much out of me. Best time of my life, honestly.
Dope, man. Well, dope, man.
Yeah.
Appreciate you sharing that story with us. Thank you for coming on the podcast, bro. Thank you.
Of course,
Great friendship over the years, man. Great entrepreneurship that you got going on. Hope, all of your stuff works out for the better. You know what I mean? I know you're going to get into this whole digital world, and let's hope that goes well. You know what I'm saying?
Thank you, man. I appreciate it a lot. It's always an honor to be talking to you. Every time we talk, we have some good stuff. So
we do be on the phone for like super long. I've noticed that. We don't talk very often, but when we do talk on the phone, we're on the phone for like an hour. It's crazy.
Right, and that's why we stay friends, man, because I feel like we connect with in so many different ways, and not just work, but like what we're into, what we think, like, and it's a great thing. And you're a great guy, man, and I appreciate you having me on and bringing me on. Believe it or not, I'm really excited to be on. Like, I was nervous, and I'm happy I did it. And like, this is cool. I want to do this again. I want to just be like,
I'm sure we'll bring you back, bro.
Yeah.
Great guy to have on a podcast, man. Thank you. Is there anything you want to plug away? You want to let anybody know where they can hit you up for anything or whatever? Go ahead, plug away if you want to.
Oh, nice. Thanks, man. Yeah. So check me out on Instagram, Kenneth K Lopez. Just check me out on Instagram. Follow my journey. I do website designs, apps. I also edit videos if you guys need that. And yeah, that's basically it. If you have questions about anything that I talked about, psychedelics, work, business, whatever you or you want to say what's up, hit me up. Like, I'm down to chop it up. And we'll get it going. Instagram is Kenneth K Lopez, and follow the journey.
There it is, Kenneth K Lopez. All right, man. Thank you guys for tuning in. We'll catch you guys next time. Squad Talk. Squad.